So I'm excited. We'll get the time lapse going. We'll get some of the stuff applied on here, get it ready to go. The other thing that we need to do is we need to clean up all of these beds on the front of the house and figure out what exactly we're gonna do with those. 2 years ago, I put compost in here. Another one of those you can see here, I put in chipped wood this last year. I think it was actually cypress. Just need to edge all of those, clean all those up, make it look nice. We'll probably do that all tomorrow morning. I've got a meeting, I think at 1 o'clock tomorrow, but other than that, I've got practice at 3:30. Should be able to get some of that stuff done in the morning. I'm gonna bring you guys along for all of it so you can see all of it. So, exciting. So starting tomorrow, what I'd like to do is I'd like to put down some prodiamine. The magic number is around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 50 to 55, and that's a soil temperature. It's not an air temperature. The difference is that soil comes up slower and goes down slower than the actual air temperatures. And the things that I need to be doing is I need to put down some fertilizer. I need to put down all my Green County different pieces. I also need to put down some 2,4-D, which is a broad spectrum herbicide, and that just means that I'm going to knock out any broadleaf that I've got in the lawn. And then I also am going to put down some fertilizer, which I've got some organic stuff, which I'm excited to put that down, continue to run that to see how that turns out. But pretty much that's like what the project is tomorrow. I'm going to put in some time lapses here so that I've framed all of this. Now you guys know exactly what to look for, what we'll be working on. Starting to warm up. The last thing that I need to remember is to look at some soil temperatures. That determines when I need to put stuff down. After a full year, you would think that this is gonna grow super well, but you gotta remember that last year I put in a bunch of prodiamine, which clubbed a bunch of the roots that are in here, and it meant that the new, less than a year old grass did not survive. So last year I had a great overseed. This looked fantastic. We had a lot of nice stripes on it. The question is gonna be, how well is this gonna come in, and can I apply the correct amount of prodiamine this, which again, you'll remember that prodiamine is a pre-emergent. I also have not been super diligent about putting out my Green County fertilizers and Green Pop, etc., all the other stuff. I did put down a bunch of fertilizer in the fall. I'm gonna put down some more fertilizer now in the spring, now that things are starting to look good, and we'll see where it goes from there. The biggest question that I have for myself is this last year was all new grass, and it's had a full year to come in. So what I'm looking for here is the soil temperatures in my area, and you can see that it's a little bit colder on this blue line north of me. And you can see the heat zone around the city of Charlotte, but it is interesting that this line here is all of South Carolina and the blue is all a little bit north of me. Green is where things are starting to green up right now, and you can already see that along the coastal plain here, it's starting to green up. You can see that the Appalachian Mountains right here, things are still pretty cool, okay? And that's kind of where the Appalachian Mountains end. If we take a look at a larger map of the United States, you can see that this area down in the, well, we're in the transition zone right here, but the true south is already yellow to orange, okay? And if I take a look at the key here, today's average is 46. 10-year average would be 48, 47, so I think we're right on that line at about 50 degrees where I want to get some things done in the lawn before it gets rolling too much. I'm not sure that today that I'll put down that prodiamine because of that, but I am definitely going to put down some 2,4-D, and the only reason that I'm putting that down is so that I can knock down any of the broadleaf that's already starting to show. So let's get out into the lawn and check this out. bag of Carbon X that I've got. Which in this scenario you can see here is a 2404. Okay, so that's a ton of nitrogen, not much phosphorus, and a fair amount of potassium, NP and K. And I'll keep them in this plastic. Now this is a starter fertilizer. It's a starter. And you can see down here in the lower right-hand corner, 24, 25, and 4. That's the NP and K measurement there. So a lot of nitrogen, a lot of phos, which is root development. Okay, and then just a little bit of potassium. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to run this over the lawn here in the front. And then when I run out of that, I'm going to put the rest of the stuff on the lawn. It's not going to hurt anything. The only thing I'm curious about here, if it's got a, there it is, spreader settings for 3 pounds to 1,000. We've got the Scott's Turf Builder Edge Guard. It looks like Scott's Edge Guard Deluxe or the Mini is a 6. So we're going to take that. We are going to set it to 6. And we're going to forget it. And let's get some stuff going on the lawn. Literally, no pun intended, the next thing that I have I'm going to put on here is this Green County fertilizer stuff. Pull all these out. There's a microgreen in here. All food grade stuff, nothing to worry about. But again, need to kind of be applied together. There's Humic 12, there's RGS, there's Aerate, which is just a super concentrated soap. There is Microgreen, which, you know, has things like potash, magnesium, it's got sulfur, copper, iron, manganese, zinc. It's just micronutrients that your plants need. Humic 12 is just literally what it is. It's just a humate, okay? RGS is a root growth stimulator. So I'm gonna hit all of this with some of that. I despise these things because they work and then they don't work, and then they work and then they don't work, and then they work and then they don't work. So I'm literally just using this as a control for my water supply today. My 4-gallon tank sprayer, however, works every time, and I don't have any problems with it, and it's just so frustrating. Like, I get John Perry wants to make things simple and be able to give you just 3 ounces of food every month, but my God, what a frustrating scenario. So I'm gonna go get my measurement stuff and well, after putting that 2,4-D down, I've had a change of heart. So I'm gonna be gone for nationals like starting tomorrow, and I'm not gonna be back till like late Sunday. And I just kind of want to get that prodiamine down now, so I don't have to think about it. Put the 2,4-D down. I think I am gonna look real quick, see if I can tank mix the tenacity and tank mix the prodiamine, see if there's any chemical interactions between those two that potentially would be hazardous or negative. But as soon as I get that down, throw a surfactant down. I don't actually remember, I spilled the surfactant in a video a little while ago, and I don't remember if I actually put that on YouTube. So I'd like to throw some surfactant down with it. Just, it helps the tenacity bond to that leaf tissue, because I do have some Poa annua, Poa trivialis that are starting to come up. They just have a greater tolerance for cooler temperatures, even more so than the cool season grass that I've got here. So my next step is to do that. So let's do some research. So after my experience last year with prodiamine, which was not negative per se, and that is to mean that it definitely eliminated any crabgrass. I did one application instead of a split application. The advantage of a split application is that you're putting down less and get a little bit more wiggle room when you're doing stuff. I just went for it and ended up with some clubbed grass. What does clubbed grass mean, you say? It means that the roots were clubbed. And so the prodiamine that I have is a wettable granular product. And so what I need to do is I need just, I think it's 0.8 ounces. I mean, this thing weighs 5 pounds. This is gonna last me the rest of my life. I think that's for a farmer that has a bunch of land. So anyway, what I am gonna do is I'm gonna run to Walmart real quick. And I'm gonna see if I can, ooh, I need a mask. I'm gonna see if I can find myself a digital kitchen scale so that I can measure this out. The one time, I'm not real like super careful with stuff. I'm just kind of a set it and forget it guy, but let's just do some homework here. See what we find out. Just exactly what I'm looking for. The only downside is that it's not free. So we actually have a whole bunch of options. Kitchen scale down here. This one's spring loaded, $9.97. This one's digital. I'd rather a digital one. $12.20. I think that might be our winner right there. Also, other than like going online and looking it up, if you're ever curious what your, oh, that's $19. Yeah. If you're ever curious what your soil temps are, any of these kitchen probe soil temps, especially these digital ones, do a really good job of clarifying what the actual temperature of the soil is. I mean, if they're sensitive enough for the food that you eat, these will give you the information that you're looking for. I mean, look at this right here. This one's $7, okay? You want to know when you should put stuff down? These guys can definitely tell you in a moment. Got my assistant out here, and we are about to do a quick iron application to the lawn. So we're gonna see if we can get through most of this. Ready? So, got my handy dandy scale here. Okay, can you hand me that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my scale on. It's gonna tear itself out, which means it's gonna set it at 0. So I've already got screwed up. Let's try this again. Tear at 0. Okay, so we're at 0. It says that I need point. I think I'm gonna need to do, I think I need to put this on a board. Jackson, come here. So that I get even pressure all the way across. All right, so let's try it again. Tear that out. Gets me to 0. Once I'm at 0, I need point. I probably don't even have the ability to do this. 0.18 ounces per 1,000. Fluid ounce. Grams. Could do it in grams. Let's do some research. Okay, did some calculations here, and I don't think you can see this. Maybe you can just a little bit. That's 36 grams. I need 5. 5 grams. This blows my mind. 30 grams. I find this hard to believe. 10, 12 grams, that's twice. This is twice as much prodiamine as what I need. I can't even express like how much we actually put down last week. 10 grams still. Eight grams, 9 grams. Five grams. So there we go. That is 5 grams. I'm going to add that to 2 gallons of water, and apparently that per 1,000 is going to be enough to eliminate any and or all crabgrass for 3 months. I would be a complete liar if I told you that I didn't feel like this is not enough wettable granular prodiamine. Absolutely crazy how little that takes. And I do remember the recommendation was just like a little over 2 teaspoons, but filled this tank. It's got a yellow hue to it. I'm gonna take it out. We're gonna spray and we'll see how well it controls. Supposed to do this again in 3 months. So hopefully in May, we'll come back out here, we'll spray again, and that should control for crabgrass. It really controlled for almost everything with the exception of tall turf type fescue. The number one thing is that I got a really good stand of young tall turf type fescue, and I just don't want to harm any of that. So let's see how it does. Okay, everything is done. Everything is sprayed. Put down some 2,4-D, put down some fertilizer, put down some prodiamine in the recommended rates. Now, last thing to do is to put everything away. And to tear apart the backpack sprayer. Got a ton of obstruction right down in here, so I'm gonna go get my stuff, tear that apart. But thank you guys for being a part of all of this. And look forward to the next one. Have a great one.